Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Mr. Kieserman. I think you're 100% right, obviously, to follow the money. This is a money thing. Where it is, I don't know any more than you know. But I'm just wondering, do engineers, whoever, do they get paid by the number of parcels they review?
In some cases, yes, Congressman, that's the model.
So that the more they do, the more they get paid, and the more you do, the quicker you are, the less detailed you are. And when you bring that back to the home office to say, here are my 100 reports for this hour's worth of time, if you say no, no one's going to tell you to go back out and check it, because there's no payment to be made. If you say yes, they may say, you know, hey, Fred, I'm not so sure. Maybe you got to go check that one again, therefore you don't get paid for it. Now, I'm not saying that's the deal, but I mean, there's clearly money involved. You're 100% right to chase it.
And Congressman, I think you've got a great point there, and all I would add is that just a few weeks ago in open court, there was evidence adduced that the billing process, even though it was a parcel-by-parcel structure, they billed a flat rate. And that was adduced in open court. So that's being investigated as potential fraud as well.
We all look forward to the results of all that. Thank you. I want to talk to you about some of the bigger issues. I mean, there's some of us who have continued to look at the flood insurance situation, not individually Sandy, but obviously lessons learned from Sandy, but also how we keep this thing alive, how we improve it, how we make it work. I just have a question for you. If I had a home on the Jersey Shore and I ran away because I was told to leave, and I came back and my house was going, do you think I'd really care if it was swept away by the ocean tides or the wind or shifting sands or little mice? My house is gone. Do you think it should matter?
Brad Kaiserman, I don't think it should matter, Congressman, but I will tell you this, as somebody managing a federal program, the actuarial difference between what it costs to limit causation to flood versus what it costs to deal with other issues is significantly different, and we're going to have to figure out how to manage that and how to educate the public about what they're buying.
The flood insurance program was, as you say in your testimony, was created for classic floods, rain and only rain, like is going on in Texas right now. It wasn't necessarily created for hurricanes where there is wind and rain simultaneously, and it wasn't created sometimes for tornadoes. I would argue that one of the things we need to look at is natural disaster insurance as opposed to simply flood insurance, therefore getting rid of all the nonsense about was it rain, was it not. And I've heard this, we heard it in Katrina, we're hearing it again in Sandy, and to be perfectly honest, I think I understand the technicalities of why it has to be done, but from my perspective, I think it's stupid for us to require it. A disaster is a disaster, and whatever specific item caused you a specific loss, in my opinion, shouldn't matter. I guess I have another question. During your work, is there a difference if I don't live on the shore of New Jersey, but you know what? I have a small little restaurant. I open it up 6, 7, 8 months a year, try to make as much as I can to feed my family and send my kids to college. Hurricane comes along, my business is blown away. Should that be treated differently than a homeowner?
I acknowledge that there's a lot of public policy issues there, but if you're asking my opinion is that if you're a small business and you have a loss, you should be able to get your loss adjusted and make sure that you get the money you need. You're the economic engine of the community. Why would we do anything other than treat them the same?
I would agree with you. Yet I know you know that when we so-called fixed our problem with flood insurance, we didn't fix it for small businesses.
So we are now looking at the number of small businesses that we have. There's a study going on right now to identify how many small businesses are actually in the program, and that will help us understand better how we can better adjust their claims.
And when Sandy hit, did it? Well, you tell me. I'm not terribly familiar with the Jersey Shore, but is everybody who owns a house on the Jersey Shore, are they all wealthy? Is Donald Trump the only one who owns a house along the Jersey Shore? There's some working class people that have struggled hard to get maybe a small, tiny little piece of the pie.
I met a lot of working class people, blue collar folks, and people who've worked for a long time to get their homes who were impacted by that.
And some of those might be second homes. They actually might live in, downtown Newark and have struggled to get a small little piece on the Jersey Shore so their family can get out of the city on occasion.
That's right.
Yet we didn't treat them well either. They're not covered by the fix that we had either. Is that right?
Right. If you, the primary residents are the main focus of the National Flood Insurance Program. Secondary homes are treated differently. I take your point about why people have second homes, but the public policy decision of the
Well, I
body.
know, that's what,
Yes, sir.
I'm struggling with the public policy, and I'm not struggling with it, I actually think this is easy. I mean, second homes, I mean, if Donald Trump has a second home, it's too bad if he loses it, but I'm not going to cry a lot. But that's not most people who own a second home, and I'm sure that in your work on the Jersey Shore, you've seen that, and I know you've seen it. I know you saw it in Katrina. I know you see it every time there's a disaster in areas where there are some second homes. And I guess my time is over, and I appreciate it. Thank you very much, Mr. Kisman.